All right, grasshoppers, we're trying to see how alert you are, you magical creatures out there. Yes, we were going to 10 o'clock on Thursdays. Now we moved it to 9 o'clock, and now we're going the day before, and we're going at noon. Can you keep up with the pace of the great Rich Ghiberti? This is the question, the burning question. What's up, Coach? How are you?
Oh my God, what a good day, Tom. Thank you. I love this. This is like one of those fire drills when you.
Yeah. So we're going to move. So just so you know, I'm doing all those podcasts. I'm talking about the full change. And we're doing all the taping on Thursday. So we're going to move this podcast to Wednesday now and get a more permanent time so you know when it's on. Probably we'll figure it out, but probably 10 o'clock on Wednesday. Does that make sense?
Go. Sounds good.
Very good. So again, this is yeah, definitely. This is Coach Rich Ghiberti, great friend of mine. Totally admire him. Does a lot of great things for kids in the past. Still doing great things in the motivational world. I hate to see. I have to get that. That's painful for me to say all those nice things about you at the start of the show. No kidding. How is everything down in Naples? Everything getting cleaned up or what?
My goodness, it's funny you say that because this weekend I spent the entire weekend going around to destroyed areas just to take videos and send them back to people that are interested in what's going on with their property. So is it getting cleaned up? It is.
Right.
But there's a lot in the air. There's a lot of different things. There are a number of really expensive properties that are destroyed, for lack of a better word. And people are coming up with the problem of they don't have the money because insurance hasn't paid them to repair them. So now you have all these investors coming down and they're trying to, if somebody wants $2 million for the property, they're offering like $900,000. So they're swooping in, trying to take advantage of somebody who's in a bad position. Like everybody's looking for the person in a bad position. Yeah. So it is crazy down here, but the people are resilient down here. The place is destroyed. What so many people who come down from up north, when they get down here, they just see the destruction and say, we don't even hear about it up north.
Yeah, we don't. So, yeah, we don't. Unless somebody goes down there and comes back. Yeah. Hold on. We have some issues with some of our loyal listeners here. I guess we're really confusing people. Happy Thursday. I need to break it to you. I'm sorry, but I'll be the one to break it to you. It's Wednesday. It's Wednesday.
Yeah, today's Wednesday. Happy Thursday, though. I got to tell you, Tom, if anybody can handle it, it's the people that follow you. Your friends and followers. My God, you are you're a hurricane, man.
That's true. Yeah, if they can fight through that. See, that's where we were toughening them up. That's a good point. We were toughening them up. Yeah.
Path of destruction, brother. Path of destruction.
So had a great weekend with the Dallas.
Yes.
Ranger alumni played the Dallas alumni. Great job. So Bob Basson, Gerald Diddick, and Craig Ludwig head up the Alumni Association. They great thing there in their practice facility for the Dallas Stars. They've got a separate room and locker room for the alumni. It's really cool. So we had, we got there on Saturday. We had a little dinner in their room. They had this personal chef there making food. Great guy. He actually plays goalie for the alumni team, but awesome. Great cook too. We're going to have him on for a show. He's fantastic food. Down Dallas.
That's spectacular.
Have you been in Dallas once? You ever spending time in Dallas?
Yeah. Yes. As a matter of fact, Nationals.
That's right. That's right. You were in a band. That's right.
No. Behind the hell with the band. Yes. Oh. Of course, I was there at Reunion Arena back then.
Right.
Yeah. No. We'll talk hockey a second.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I used to coach that team at Fordham University.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
And Barry Shelley was able to say it that I'm 193 and 56. That was my record. 760 something. Okay. I know enough of that, right? Yeah. But we had the tournament at one of the Dallas Stars facilities in Plano, Texas. I don't know if that's the one that you skated at, but Plano, Texas was Nationals in 2019.
Oh.
And we went 2-1. The one loss was against Michigan. They outshot us 72-23, and we lost 2-1. So yeah.
Really?
Wow. Yeah, I have great memories of Texas. Fantastic, great time, and the kids had a great time. It was really good stuff. So I was excited when I saw you go there, and I never realized, and that's why, since we're friends, I'm starting to lose my hair. That there's male baldness is one of the symptoms of playing hockey. And I guess the better you are at the hockey, the less hair you have, because it was you, Graves, and Mullins. That picture, the three, you looked right out of James Bond.
So we wanted to get a picture together for a long time, because whenever we go to events, if the three of us, well, even just the two of us, they always get us mixed up. Like I can tell when people are coming over to me thinking I'm Adam Graves. I can tell. I know they have no clue who I am. They think that it's Adam Graves. It is funny sometimes we joke around. So if Adam's supposed to be at the event and he's not there yet, people will be coming over to me and introducing, and they're going, you're pointing, there he is. They bring the kids over, they introduce him like that, and they think I'm Adam. And then when Adam actually shows up, they're going, "Oh God, it's only Laidlaw." It's like,
oh my God, imagine. No, that's funny. But you both have the same personality, although he is really got the verbiage down.
Oh, he's good.
He's
you know,
so,
I'll be very
so good
yes.
at
I'll be
it.
very when I first met him before I really knew him, I thought this guy's phony. Like he's almost like too nice, you know. But now I've gotten to know him better. Like he's got a great sense of humor. We give each other a hard time, picking on each other. He's the real deal. He is.
No, he's a good guy, and he worked with Tony Zacconi, who was my relative for
That's
years,
right,
and that's how I first met him, Adam. And I said the same thing. I said, "Wow, this guy is way too upbeat." It's like, what's this about? But he stays that way. He's consistent. He stays that way. Right. And you know, he's been at family weddings.
He's got a great sense of humor and joke around. But when he's in front of people, he knows how he wants to act, how he represents himself. Yeah, he's really good.
He does a great job. And then you had and then you had Mullins with you too. And Mullins and I, when we all did that big day at the Garden, Mullins and I did a Q&A because we were both from New York, you know, at Bronx and Manhattan in his case. Right. And we talked about the games we used to play growing up in the streets. Right. You know, it was kind of cool. So he's a great guy too.
He's got a story too. He's had open heart surgery when he was just finishing up his career. He had a heart attack. I think it was a heart attack, or he had to have open heart surgery anyway. So but he's doing good. Yeah, he's a fun guy.
Yeah,
awesome. He does a lot of kids too. So there's on our team. So there's Ron Duguay, Darius Kasparaitis, Alexei Kovalev.
Yep.
Aaron Veros. I'm trying to think who else do we have? Stefan Matteau was there. He's a good guy. Him and I have gotten to be pretty close. We didn't play with each other, obviously. Yeah, good guy. Really good guy. He does a lot of good stuff. He works at these schools up here in New York and goes out and helps the kids a lot. So, you know what's interesting? You see with a lot of the players, not limited to, but especially the guys that have gone through stuff in their lives, they really are giving back now. Like we've done podcasts. Richie Pilon was a fantastic podcaster. He did great story. Yeah. He actually tried to commit suicide about 18 years ago. Got wrapped up in the drinking and cocaine and everything. And he was his podcast we did with him was fantastic. How he opened up, talked about it when he tried to drive off the road and didn't tell anybody for 3 years. Obviously, he survived the accident, but he didn't tell anybody for 3 years that he had tried to commit suicide. So
wow, no, that's tough. That's tough. Yeah. So what? And we could get back to that because that's so prevalent. But what was it? So you flew out, obviously. What does it feel like? Let me ask you this, because I was thinking about it. What did it feel like? You know, what do you feel like when you lace them up? And it looked like the lower bowl of wherever you were playing was filled, right? So what does all of that feel like? And granted, you're not the same guy you were when you were physically, 28 years old or whatever.
Yeah. Definitely. So they had the Stars played Florida Panthers at started at 2:00. So as soon as the game ended, they flooded the ice and we went out for a quick warm up and then started playing the game. So when the game started, I bet there was probably a good 10,000 people in the building. So it was fun. You know, when you first start doing those things after you've retired, you're kind of like, you're kind of tiptoeing around a little bit. Now you realize, we're out there warming up, but it's like you're having fun with the kids and the boards, like you're shooting glass, shooting the pucks at the glass, and the kids are jumping and all that kind of stuff. So it's good. They had a team of guys like Eric Nystrom that retired just recently, Vern Fiddler. So they had some young guys. Most guys are pretty good. It's like, okay, let's not get. I mean, Al Secord was out there. He was older than me. Ron Duguay was older than me. So there's some older guys, but most guys like that. Secord kept himself in really good shape. He awesome. Really, he was a tough guy. He's a pilot, commercial pilot. Wow. He's been he's got one more year to finish off his 25-year career, and then he has to retire. So he's
wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. Good guys. The Stars really do, so do the Rangers, but the Stars really do. So again, there's difference. The Stars players, the alumni, they actually run the alumni. When the Rangers case, it's run by people at Madison Square Garden. Right. And they just set things up. So it was, they were really good. Bob Basson's a fantastic guy. They do. So the charity was, I think it was a soup kitchen in town there. They feed the homeless and kids that are stuff. So great cause. The people that run it were there. They really were good about bringing in corporate sponsors and other people in the community. So it was they do a good job, really organized and everything. So
I mean, even for us with our tournament, the Stars did a great job. They really.
They got involved. Yeah, it seems like they're really involved.
They ran it. I mean, they ran it. We used their facilities, and then the finals were at the actual NHL rink, which unfortunately we didn't make. But anyway, it was good. That was a great time down there. I don't know where did you stay in the heart of town or?
We were uptown at this place called the Canopy. It was a really nice area.
I've heard of it, but go ahead. Yeah.
But really, Dallas seems like it's a really kind of hip kind of town where it's really healthy stuff. A lot of right next door to our hotel was a cryogenics place and everything.
Beautiful.
So yeah.
You didn't
do it. Behave himself in the locker room. Gerald Didek, the former player, he got stung by a few bees. He's allergic to bee stings, I think. He's put on. I'm joking. He's put on a few pounds. So we're in the locker room, and he hadn't got undressed yet, and I picked up my cell phone and pretended I was filming him, and I really wasn't filming him. I said, "Come on, take your shirt off. We're all waiting for you to take your shirt off."
Oh my God!
And he was funny. He says, "I'm not. You got your own brand." He says, "I'm not there. You're up at 3:30 in the morning." And he was,
they know. They know about it. They know about your.
Yes, I was surprised. Somebody.
Awesome. Cool.
Yeah, so I was surprised how many people were watching the show. They all started calling him Grasshopper and everything. And we had awesome. We had a little like 4 guys from the Rangers and 4 guys from the Stars got up at lunch before the game on Sunday, and I was one of the 4. And they wanted me. They didn't care about my career at all. They just wanted me to talk about True Grit Life and all the motivational stuff. It was good. It was
Yeah, that is good. That is good. Well, a lot of anytime you can talk about motivation, it's helpful.
Yeah, Eddie Belfour was there, and I don't think I'm speaking out of turn because he said it publicly, but he's had his issues with drinking and driving and other kind of stuff, and he now has a whiskey. He has a whiskey like Belfour whiskey.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, Craig Ludwig, who's very funny. He was moderating the event, and he said to he said to Eddie Belfour, he says, "Okay, so you've got your own whiskey. Do we think this is a good idea?"
Yeah, really. I know. Well, he's doing field research, right? In the field.
Oh God, he asked at one point. He says, I just like drinking." That's what Belfour said. He's a unique man. I put it that way. And there's some of the stories I heard about him. Steph and Matteau played with him in Chicago. Who else? I think some other people played with too. And apparently he's unique. Yeah.
Yeah, Eddie Belfour, sure. Yeah. Oh, hey, listen. I see Barry Shelley. Yes, I do need to coach. I got to straighten these guys out, Barry. I would make it too competitive, though. That's the problem. I don't know anything about charity.
Yeah. Let me see here. So a couple of comments here. Yeah. No Petit or Langwin. No, they were not invited. They tried to spread the wealth. Oh, actually, I am playing in the. I didn't realize I am playing in the alumni game against the Islanders. Not this weekend. Next weekend. Yeah.
Why wouldn't you though? Why was that a surprise?
Well, because they try to spread the wealth a little bit, get different guys in, and actually, I'm going to be mic'd up during that game too. So that's
brilliant. That's perfect. That is perfect. Wow. Who else but you? How could they not have you? Come on.
I know. Who's got a bigger mouth than I do? Is what you're saying, right?
Well, it's not that. I mean, you have something to say though. It's interesting. Yeah, you're funny. You're good. You're a regular guy.
Did Gresh still have his one-liners while he was coaching the game? Gresh did not show up last minute. He had some other engagement. So we were coachless. That's why we lost the game 8-7. We were down 8-2, made a big comeback. We lost 8-7.
I'm a 2-goal difference maker.
Yeah, you should. Yes, that's right. We should. Yeah, I should just get a call. You become a coach. Yeah,
that's all right. Yeah. That's all right. No big deal. Some people you can't drag people to win. You can't drag people to success.
Nice.
That's like that one. Like that. I just made that one up the other day, and I was on the phone with somebody.
You can't drag people to success.
You can't drag people to success.
Bob Nystrom, his son was playing Eric. He does remind me. Yeah, not the same. Wasn't the same player as far as toughness. He was still a tough player, but he's still in great shape. Again, he hasn't retired. It hasn't been that long since he retired. So,
well, and you had nobody. You had no recent retired Ranger on your team, huh?
No, Aaron Varos would be the closest one. Kasparaitis still thinks he can play. Man, he's funny.
Well, yeah.
Oh, he is a chat. He talks nonstop too. Oh God,
that's great.
Talks more than we do.
Yeah. No, that's impossible.
Our friend Pete Giantempo again sent us an article. So I'm saying this because it's public. There's an article in the New York Post about a police officer that committed suicide last night. It was right.
I believe so, but actually, they found his body at 12:30. I believe either today or yesterday, which is a sin. He's 28-year-old.
Kids and everything too, right? 2 kids.
Yeah. So that's just, Tom. There's not all kidding aside. There's not enough that really is being done. There'll never be enough that's really being done for mental illness. It really is. It's so important to that we as a society have to keep money here and put it towards mental illness and suicide and suicide ideology and everything. I mean, it's so important.
Yeah, I think we really have to be like overly cautious, right? Like if you think that somebody could hurt themselves, you can't. And apparently, he was getting help from what the article said.
Yeah,
and it made some posts on Facebook or wherever it was that he acknowledged that he wanted people to. I guess he was crying out for help, and it does seem that a lot of his fellow police officers were reaching out to him, trying to get him help.
Well, that community is very supportive. I mean, there have been so many suicides in that community that they have to be vigilant, hyper vigilant, for Pete's sakes.
So I mean, again, we don't know these guys, but so, I mean, is it one of those things you think that because like one guy does it, then now it sparks another person to do it?
Well, you know what? I don't know, but that certainly has to contribute to it. I mean, It just happens, but it's what's going on in our society. I mean, in our society, with everything that's going on, people, there's never been more males that have, I forgot the exact statistic, but loneliness, males that suffer from loneliness, and especially because we had to hunker down due to COVID, a lot of that became prevalent with people who just got lonely, males. That's why podcasts are popular. Social media, that's why social media got popular. People wanted to reach out, and this is the only way sometimes that they can do that.
And more men commit suicide than women. Is that correct?
That's what they say. Yep. Yeah.
So there's a guy that does podcasts, a bald-headed guy, and I can't remember his name. I've seen him a few times. And he talks a lot about the spares you. I don't know how to put it the right way, but he talks about how men are like, I don't know if it's discriminated against, like they have a harder life than is perceived that women want to perceive. I can't remember the guy's name, but he's out there a lot. Yep. It's just interesting take on it. Obviously, to some people that agree with him totally, and there's even some women who totally agree with him, talking about those kinds of things. So, well,
I think men don't communicate because it's not it's not manly. A lot of people think it's not manly for men to communicate, or I mean, friends like you and I, we'd have to be able to say, like, hey, I'm having a really tough time here, Tom. You know what I mean? And feel comfortable doing that, and not, you don't want to hear, I don't think, hey, well, toughen the F up.
It's not true. As much as, okay, I won't speak for you, I'll speak for myself. As much as I preach all the time and even believe it totally, that men should be able to reach out more to people and tell them that they have feelings or something going on, but it's still hard to do. Like if for me to go to you, and we've had frank discussions off air before, but it's still, it's like you're fearing like, okay, he's going to think I'm weak. He's going to judge me, but those things, but that is human nature for not just men, but for men.
But I mean, so you and I are past that stage. Okay. But there are a lot of guys that have to get past that stage because not every day is a great day.
Yeah. Totally.
Right. Every day is not a great day. But in other words, like I basically preach positivity, right? So positivity, and that being said, I have adversity. It's not like I don't have adversity. All right. Totally. But every day I just try to simplify it. There's certain things that I have to do to ensure that I get back to where I want to be, which is positive. You know what I mean? Totally. And I have no problem I'm not going to wear my heart on my sleeve. Right. But I find that really men talking to each other, that communication is very important. Yeah. And that's what's not happening. People aren't getting that opportunity.
Right.
So,
and for me, I've realized, okay, I've got some things to work on. Like, I feel really good about myself. I love myself, but I'm realizing the more we get into more, you and I discuss mental health issues and talk about with other people, you realize I got some stuff like, my past is things have happened, like all of us,
everybody's going through something, brother.
but what's funny thing too is that I know it's funny to say it that way, but it's more like, I really had felt like up until this point, like the last few years, I'd say, okay, this is just who I am and that's it. Right. Mm-hmm. Even though I knew, obviously I'm single, I've had 2 divorces. So obviously there's some things I need to work on. Right. And now I finally opened up the door a little bit and realized, okay, why am I got a better handle on why I'm acting the way I'm acting, and realized, okay, well, you need to work on some things here, Tom. So,
but we all do. I mean, that's the bottom line. We all do. But speaking also to your point though, but we ourselves have to realize that we need to work on it. In other words, because what doesn't work with guys like us is me telling you, hey, Tom, you got to do this. You got to do that. You know what I mean? That doesn't work. You know what I mean? Like, thank you. I appreciate your opinion, but let me believe that I have to do that.
Yeah,
so
totally.
It's a real catch-22, but that's why I say, look, talking to a therapist is spectacular. Talking to with me when I talked to finally found somebody that was a therapist for PTSD. I didn't know I had it, whatever. That was an epiphany for me. That was very good in 2019 that happened before the pandemic, but in the same breath, there's nothing I feel that beats a bunch of like-minded guys sitting down and chewing the fat.
Totally. Yeah,
okay.
Totally. 100%.
And that's why like athletes. How is that? Pretty good.
Athletes. Well, you missed it a little bit.
No, I missed it a little bit. I'll get there.
We'll go athletes.
Okay. sports players. How's that?
Yeah, there you
sports
go.
aficionados, but in the locker room. You know what? That kibitzing in the locker room, and then every once in a while, a group of guys that kibitz like that. Sometimes you get together with 4 or 5 of them and have a real talk, like a real, like a kind of serious, for lack of a better word, talk. Right. Those are magical moments, and that's why guys who play sports and are used to a locker room, they'll gravitate to going to the firehouse and becoming a fireman. Let's say, a lot of college kids I coach now became firemen. But that ability to do that, a lot of people don't have it. A lot of people don't
you think too, it's like the people you're hanging around with too. Like if you don't feel comfortable that you can go to your friends and open up and tell them, and they'll be accepting, not judgmental, then they're not your friends. They're the wrong people to have as friends. Right?
You're hanging around the wrong people. I mean, that's what a lot of folks say when you're trying to make a change, like with this positivity thing. I'm trying to make a change. I'm going to hang out with positive people. So that means like a lot of friends that I have that are negative, for lack of a better word, they fall by the wayside. It's no disrespect to them, but it's unhealthy for me to hang out with a bunch of people that are complaining about every little minutia thing in the world. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like if you can't go to one of your friends and have them just stop and listen to you. And I've learned a lesson too. You don't always have to give that friend advice. Maybe just there to listen to them too. Right.
Yeah.
And I'm not just, and I've got to get better at that. That's part of my issue. Which, it's more like, okay, I feel like they've come to me for help and now I've got to come up with solutions instead of just saying, but I guess that's the fine line too. If somebody does come to you with a problem, then you want to be there to listen. You want to be empathetic, which I'm learning to be much better at. But at the same time, if you feel like, do you have to wait for them to say, Tom, what do we need to do? Or do you?
Well, I mean, you could look, the way I do it is say, this is what I do. If you want to know what I do, because I've had all of these feelings, you know what I'm saying? I've run the gamut of feelings, and I've had all of them. So this is what I do. I mean, I have a morning routine like you. We, basically we have morning routines and we do certain things. I mean, this morning I at a minimum today, I went in and did cryotherapy this morning at whatever time it was, 7:45 a.m. I did 3 minutes cryotherapy, and then I went into the infrared sauna for 60 minutes. I work in the infrared sauna. I bring my phone. I do whatever I do, post stuff on social media, but I'm sweating, and now the next thing is red light therapy.
So you think that's the best? So if somebody comes to you with an issue, you say, okay, but even
but pardon me, just interrupt you. It's good to share if they're open for it. Would you like to hear what I do? If the guy says no, great, no.
Right. Yeah, good point.
But here's what I do. Here's what I do. Here's what I did when I felt like that, like whatever they were coming to me with.
Right. Yeah.
And if they're great, and if not, then I pray for them.
Yeah, because if somebody comes to you with a problem, you just don't want to sit there stone faced and like. I guess there's a comment. There's a happy medium there too, right? You can say, "Listen, I'm here for you. Whatever you need." Right? Yeah. So this is interesting, and I know Lorraine's kind of joking around, but it's true. So Tom doesn't like to take orders. Very, very active. Now,
well, he doesn't, Lorraine. No.
And I have learned through my self-examination that's. I mean, in one way, it's great. Like this is the funny thing. I've learned. I look back now. It's okay. So these issues, like the abandonment and all that kind of stuff, had made me more independent, right? And I'm not sitting around waiting for somebody else to do something for me. I'm going to go do it myself. So all those things are great in my career as an athlete, as a business person. Because I would just take charge and go do it. Now, the flip side is if you want to have like a relationship with somebody, it's a little bit more like, okay, there's got to be some kind of give and take there a little bit, right? That's the part that I need to work on.
Yeah, you got to pick your spots, I guess. Yeah, you have to pick your spots and find somebody exactly like you, or be very tolerant. There's like,
if somebody was just like me, though, that'd be a disaster, wouldn't it? Because then
I would pay to see that. I have the popcorn. I have some kombucha and popcorn.
Oh God. Yeah, so it's got to be somebody that is right. It's got to be somebody that's patient enough to say. But then I also have to show them that, listen, I understand that. Okay, this is the way I am now, but I need to get better, right? Like you can't just say, "This is me, either take it or not." And I've learned that I have done that in the past, where it's like, "This is it. If you don't like it, move on," as opposed to saying, "Listen, I know I'm understanding what I'm all about, but I need to change things, and I get that. And I'm working on it." Right.
Well, you are working on it, though. You're aware of it. Yeah. Awareness is half the battle, and you're working on it. And the other thing, though, Tom, is you do a bunch of stuff. We talked about this last week. You do a bunch of stuff that is healthy for you without even knowing it's healthy for you.
Yeah, I know. I do.
You really do. I mean, even the fact when you wake up at 3:30 in the morning, that's like the optimal time to wake up.
That was interesting. You said that. Yeah, I
didn't realize the most energy in the universe supposedly is then. Now, do I believe that? Who am I to dispute it? You know what I'm saying? But that's what scientists are saying.
I know.
And Sadhguru, our yogi India.
Yes, I was listening to some Joe Rogan interview, and the guy
Yes.
talked. Oh, he talked about, it was a sleep guy too. Talked about how if you don't get enough sleep, it's like you're you're adding, or your testosterone levels are somebody that 10 years older because you don't get enough sleep. Like your testosterone or HGH? No, it's testosterone, I think. Yeah,
it's got to be testosterone. So testosterone now has become like mainstream, right? Like when we were growing up, our parents didn't. I know my dad didn't even know what testosterone was, right?
Yeah, totally.
But because he had so much of it. But you know what I'm saying? So now though, it's become very, very commonplace. There are guys that are taking shots. There are guys that are eating salmon, a bunch of healthy stuff like meat, salmon, eggs. Like for so many years, we could have a whole discussion on food because there's so many like, new information about it. But it's about getting some sleep. Doesn't mean you got to get 8 hours of sleep, but you need some quality sleep, they say.
Yeah, and I've talked before. I do believe in the science of sleep. I get all that, but hold on real quick. We'll come back to that subject. But Barry, this is really important news. Okay, did you update in the car? Okay, so Rich, being the good friend that he is, he did some research, and I found out the guy that was giving me my price at my place was comparable to other people. So that was the price.
Yeah.
So it's a new engine. It's going to take about 2 to 3 weeks to get delivered. So we're getting a refurbished engine for with 3-year warranty on it.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, so what happened was, I guess the oil pump broke. Therefore, the engine is getting no oil. There's no lights on like that. And
$9,000 later, he's going to have a new engine.
Yeah, that's right.
And so that's the price.
Yeah, that is the price. So anybody wants to get a new engine, so the labor and materials, $9,000.
Yeah, on that car, on a Denali, the 6.2 V8 Denali.
That's right. And thank you very much. I know I did thank you, but I want to thank you publicly for doing all that work too. So
no, it's okay. And that's my buddy Rich Biaggi, my grammar school friend. We grew up together, and he's the junkyard guy. He's amazing. Yeah. Good friend.
Right. All right. So we were talking about working on yourself. And I guess I get from me like opening up. Seriously, like understanding what was going on inside me and now working on it, I gotta admit, it was a little bit painful at times, right? Because I mean, I think the male ego kicks in a little bit. You think, no, I'm good. I'm feeling really good about this, and I do. I love myself, but it's also, just because you love yourself doesn't mean you can't continue to work on things.
Yeah, I think it's just how you react to people. I think what you put out there is something I'm working on. I have to work on that constantly. Even the mere fact of one of the best ways to give back is everybody you see, good morning. How are you? Yeah. Good morning. Yeah. What's going on? Hey, what's happening? That might be the first time they met you. Yeah. And if you give them that response, they'll say, hey, he's a pretty happy guy, as opposed to walking around thinking everybody owes us something because we woke up on the wrong side of the bed or whatever.
Yeah, I agree.
So
Barry Shelley here has been hooked on. So Tom has been hooked on using air fryer. I got one for Christmas. Yeah, air fryers are.
Oh my God, you guys.
Have you got the air fryer, Rich? You got an air fryer?
No, I don't. No. I'm very simple, but that is too complicated for me. I got to tell you.
It's not that it's an oven that circulates air. Very, very healthy for you. Easier to cook. You're not heating up the whole oven. Oh, like I had. So for breakfast today, I had a couple of eggs with 7 ounces of salmon, sockeye salmon.
Oh, that's that. Okay.
Yeah, and sweet potatoes done in the air fryer. Oh, pretty
delicious,
healthy, right? Oh,
you mix it all together? You just like
no. We had today we went with over easy on the eggs, and the sweet potato fries. Put a little from Costco. I got this Mexican I think it's Mexican seasoning put on it. Oh my goodness! and then the salmon. So I get the frozen salmon from Costco. I heat up the oven. Put it on my cast iron skillet.
Oh my God.
Spray a little avocado oil on it, season it up a little bit, throw that sucker in the oven for about 25 minutes. Oh my God, just like butter.
That's awesome. Oh. And I'm sorry, but did you cook anything yesterday? I didn't notice that. Did you post any meal?
No, so I was gone Sunday. So there's gone Sunday, so there's no cooking show. But we did post pictures from the game and everything. So that was fun.
That's cool. Yeah, I saw. Yeah. Kovalev's a good guy too. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, yes. He's got his pilot's license and his helicopter license.
That's right. He does have a pilot's license.
Yeah, and he just recently got the helicopter license too. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a few guys. I didn't realize that like I said, Al Secord, pilot for 25 years, just going to retire another year.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And he mentioned a few other guys. Rod Buskus I played with. He's a commercial pilot too.
Really? Wow.
Yes.
I've lost you somehow on my screen. Hold on. I'm scared now by myself. Hold on.
Wait,
Hold
by
on,
yourself?
Thomas.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
You can hear me?
Yeah. I can hear you. Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay. All right. Good. You can't see me though, so you can't see what I'm doing.
Is that it? Oh, you're gonna do that kind of stuff to me, huh? All right. Okay. All right, buddy.
I don't see anything from Alicia so far. She's not here.
She's been kidnapped. They brought her back to Venezuela. Supposedly, we've lost all of the women in our lives. Lorraine popped.
Lorraine's there. Yeah.
I don't think women. I don't think women like change, buddy. I don't think women like change.
That's right, because I'm changing. See, this is it. The abandonment that once again rears its ugly head.
Dory's gone. Alicia's gone. Lorraine, though, Lorraine can keep up with us.
She sticks in. Yes, thank you, Lorraine. We need you. Tracy Marie's there.
Oh, Tracy's here. All right, cool.
Yeah.
There you go.
Right there.
Tracy's a believer. She took that via test.
But she's part way in though. Like she's not like she says I'm. Like she's not saying I'm here. She's just saying I'm.
That's okay.
Oh, okay. All right. I scolded her. I scolded her, so she's all the way in. Okay, thank you. See, I guess I'm a little bit. Yes, and I will not admit. Thank you for recognizing my abandonment issues. Should I get like some kind of some sign on my forehead or something? Yeah, please don't abandon me, or like should I do like have a sign of a?
Go ahead.
Should I do something?
A T-shirt, abandoned.
Yeah.
Just make a T-shirt. That could be a clothing brand. True Grit.
Abandoned.
Don't abandon by True Grit.
Please don't abandon me.
You could get Johnny Depp. You could get Johnny Depp to do the cologne commercial.
Yes, Tracy Marie, you're being funny. I know, but I was on Survivor. You know this.
Oh, well, she's got that hat. She's got the giant. Did she change? Is that a new hat picture?
That's recent. I think that's been the last couple of weeks.
Profile picture, huh? With that.
Yeah, it is.
Wow.
She's trying to be like that mysterious woman, right? Like
yeah, seductively mysterious. There is that it? Oh boy.
We can leave that up there. Tracy.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, that's right. Like even on Survivor, they abandoned me, right? They got rid of me.
Well, they tossed you. I mean, they were afraid of you.
Yeah, I guess that's different than the abandonment, right? They threw me out.
That's because it was just a TV show. If it wasn't a TV show, you would have had them all captured. They would all been marching to the Laidlaw flag. I don't care. There was younger guys there in shape, this and that. You would have figured out a way to get rid of them too. Doesn't matter.
I know. We just could have got to the merge, where it's an individual game. Yeah.
That show was yours. That show was yours, and you let up for a second. I think maybe the compassion, the kindness. You were a little too kind. You should just went with the evil Tom.
Yeah, I know. A lot of people said that, but I didn't want to be like that lying guy and everything like that. You couldn't do that. I saw that picture of Brian Trottier. Yeah. Well,
what did he do? What's his story?
There was a picture of him wearing a cowboy hat. He was talking about he's got a book coming out or something like that.
And so he wore a hat. Now is he from Calgary? Did he grow up in Calgary or something like that?
Western Canada. Yeah, Western Canada for sure. Not necessarily Calgary, but yeah, definitely.
Wow.
No, I'd probably be the better cowboy. Yeah, he's a phony guy. I came to New York.
He's a phony guy.
Yeah. I came to New York wearing a cowboy hat and cowboy boots. All right. So yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. The cowboy. Yeah. Brian's a cut. Yeah. He won a couple of Stanley Cups, right?
Yeah, he won 4. And I think he won at Pittsburgh too. So
yeah, sure he did. That's what I'm saying. At least 5.
Right. The tribe
has spoken. Look at that. She's right.
Yes, Tracy. Don't bring back bad memories. Okay. So I'm either getting abandoned or people are throwing me off. Listen, seriously, my life has just been like
you're fine. So how did you get coached then? Because you actually had to. How did you deal with a hockey coach since you were like the player's player and everything else? You played for Herb Brooks. He told you don't shoot. You ended up with no goals that season, right? You started with 6. Started to feel yourself. Went to camp out of shape. He picks on you, right? So how do you deal with listening to him?
To Herb?
Yeah, Herb. You heard him?
It's a great question.
Minnesota American.
I think Herb was really good at Herb really did his homework on every player. So he knew, he talked to the coaches, people around him, and knew how they tick, what made him tick. Yeah. So I think he knew what to say to me. That's a great question. I'm trying to think that through because he would do things like late in the game.
Take your time.
Short story long.
No, take it long.
So he would do things like he'd come down to the end of the bench. So we would be up goal late in the game, 30 seconds to go, killing a penalty, and he'd come down and kick me in the rear and said, "Get the F on the ice."
There you go.
So and I never understood this until recently when I look back at it. So I didn't want him to be saying, "Tom, are you okay?" I wanted him to say, "I want you on the ice no matter what. If you're hurt, you're tired, or whatever." And he knew that with me, and that inspired me. Like when he would do that to me, I would get jacked. I was like, "Yeah, he doesn't care if I'm okay or not. He just wants me on the ice."
Get out there.
Right. And seriously, and even if you were tired, I remember he was smart that way. So I think that was the key with him. It's not as much me learning how to deal with him, more him understanding me. And like to me, that was the brilliant part of him as a coach, was understand each player, what made him tick. So yeah.
And believe me, I'm not Herb Brooks. But that's how I related to it though. Like a guy like you, I would just come down and say, really? Yeah. Are you kidding me?
But it's interesting. But it's interesting right? to say you're not. It's interesting you say you're not Herb Brooks though. But I think with you and the way you coach, as like you're worrying about the individuals as people, you were like Herb Brooks. So listen, you didn't win the gold medal, but you don't have to be. You don't have to be a gold medal winning coach to get the most out of people, right?
I think you have to. I think when you're coaching a team, whether it's business work, whatever, each person is an individual. You can't lump them all into one pot and coach them all the same.
Yeah,
you just
totally.
You can't. One kid might be a little sensitive. One kid might be a little angry, happy, this, that. You got to figure out what the hell it is, and then you have to, listen. It's an aggressive game. You got to make them aggressive and work within the system and get the hell out there. You can't be out there if you don't believe 100% each shift what the hell your job is. Well, we're screwed as a team. As a team,
right, exactly. Like if you don't, the player doesn't believe that he is important to the team and he has to do his job. You're right. Yeah, I agree totally. Could Brooks and Al Arbour coexist? Well, I think. Well, both of them were leaders, right? Like they couldn't have coached together because they're designed to be the leader of the team. So in that regard, they couldn't get along, but I think their theories were the same, maybe done differently. Maybe Al Arbour is a little bit more old school, but he was still the same thing. Like he would know his players and how to get to them too. Like your stories about how, and it was always right before they would play us. He'd come in the locker room, like, and they have a bad game. He says, "You guys," I think he put eggs in everybody's stall one time to signify, to say that they could have played with the eggs in their pants and they wouldn't have broke the eggs because they weren't hitting them. So he would do that like 2 days before in the paper, would get out. Now we got to play him like the next day, and I'm thinking, that's great. So Kirk Gillies is now totally mad. Bob Nyström is flipping out. Yeah, here they come. Yeah. No, he was good. He knew that so in a different way than her, but they were both the same in that they understood the players and how to get to them psychologically. Yeah.
Good stuff. Yeah, absolutely. Well, good coaches they're hard to find. They're hard to come by. I don't know. A lot of times these guys they talk in circles and all these slogans and habits and everything else.
Oh, I know. They're salespeople is what they are. Like they sell to the media that they know what they're talking about. Yeah. As a player, and not sure if you ever break, but what would you rather have a breakaway during the game of facing the goalie or doing a one-on-one to shoot? So I have had one breakaway in my career. Got out of the penalty, got out of the penalty box. Is it Madison Square Garden against Pittsburgh Penguins? And I was so nervous I was going to miss the net. I shot right into the goalie's chest.
Oh, he has a quick chest.
Yeah, exactly. He moved.
He's got a quick chest.
Oh, it was hilarious. I got back to the bench. The guys are like, "Good warm up shot, Tom. Way to warm up the goal."
Oh my god, it's hilarious.
It is funny, and it's interesting. That's a good point though, because the way I thought about myself at that time, as much as I was confident, I was in the NHL. When I was out of my comfort zone, which I was in that scenario, I just went into panic mode. Right, where I think to myself now, I've trained myself much better now. So if I got out of the comfort zone, I said, "Okay, that's fine. I've been here before." I can handle it. There's no problem. It is interesting looking back and thinking, like I even talked about when I was on the All-Star ballot, how terrible a year I had. Again, it wasn't about my lack of confidence in myself as a game. I'm just thinking I was thinking all along, what if I make the All-Star game? I'm going to have to, I don't play in All-Star games. I'm not the kind of guy. I remember thinking this to myself. Like, Oh yeah.
You needed a team's therapist. Well, some of those teams have motivational coaches, for Pete's sakes. That's the new thing now, right? Visualization coaches, where you visualize what's going to happen in the game.
Like I'm a huge believer in that hypnotism that I did with that Jackie Long. I just believe in that totally. I think more athletes should do that. I mean, it can't hurt anything. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But why not? Because it goes into that. Yeah, it goes to that whole theory about getting to the subconscious mind and how it was formed for those years up to 7 or 8 years old and all that stuff. So
now, did you try that yet, or you were talking about trying it?
No, I you know what? More and more, I was actually thinking about this morning. I'm going to call her and get that done, both for my just interest sake, but I really like I'm now opening up about my abandonment issues.
Yeah, but why not?
I don't know why. I don't know why I laugh about it. It still seems weird for me because again, I don't ever look at my parents, particularly my mother, that like they were fantastic people. But there's also these times, and like I'm pretty sure my mother had some mental health issues herself, so it's unfair to her because she had to go through stuff herself.
But I mean, the whole thing is now our society is so self-aware of this stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, now it's commonplace. It's almost commonplace to talk about it. So back then, with our parents, because we're the same age group, our parents, right? They didn't know what the hell they were doing.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
I mean, basically, this wasn't even commonplace. I mean,
Yeah.
Think about it. So you folks just thought they were just concerned with your safety.
Right.
They had to leave. They had to leave.
Yeah.
They had to leave. You know what I mean? They had to leave, and they left you with a family and a player that you knew, and take care. See you later. Not even a note or a text message or a phone call, right? Because they didn't have that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I look at it like, and again, learning from the situation and being a different time, different world now. Like if that happened to like my kids, and I just take my kids out of the game. They're coming with me. I don't care about the lacrosse game. But I'm assuming my mother was so distraught that her brother had just died. She was like, just
sure,
So
I mean, they just didn't think about the ramifications of all of that.
Yes, exactly. But like I said before, I don't regret it, because in some ways, it made me this tough, mentally tough kid that just fought through everything. And I look back, and that's what it was. It was like I just didn't, like, if something bad happened, I just sucked it up, get going. That was the way it was, because that's the way I was trained to be. So
I think the takeaway from all of this is not to regret you. I truly believe not to regret your past, but to learn from it. Really, just to learn, no matter what issues you might have had in the past. You're going to have to learn from it.
Yeah, because again, it made me, those things that happened made me who I am. Now I just need to work on improving myself. Like, it's
tweaks, little tweaks, little adjustments.
Tracy,
you know what I mean?
Tracy, yes, I need a hug, Tracy. Yes.
Oh, Tracy. Thanks.
See, this is it. I won't get the hug though, but I need it.
Well, I mean, it's hard to do virtually. That's the problem.
Yep.
Definitely.
Group hug. Yeah, we're gonna do a big group hug, Barry. That's right.
There
so Barry again.
Field of Dreams soon.
That's right. He's got that thing going on in February there. The New Jersey Warriors are going up there. It sounds like quite an event. He's got the mayor coming out and all this kinds of stuff. So, Tracy Marie, let's see. Rich is asking. Rich did the infrared sauna this morning. That's right. You did.
Incredible. And infrared sauna this morning is incredible, and it's just
okay. So let's go into the science behind the infrared sauna. So
here we go.
First of all, the normal sauna is the rocks that you heat up and throw some water on, right?
Infrared sauna heats you up from the inside out. Okay, so
heats you up as an individual.
Yeah.
So they put like a probe. They put a probe up your.
No, you're inside. You're inside. It's infrared rays penetrate.
So it's like a microwave kind of thing.
It's like sitting in a microwave, Tom.
But the microwave speeds up the molecules inside the thing, the food, right? Right. So
my God, yeah. So it heats you up faster, obviously.
But how do you heat?
I'm like a bag of broccoli. I'm like a bag of broccoli. How's that?
So how does it heat you up internally, though? I'm being a smart ass, but I'm being really serious.
No. So here, I'll give it to you right now. Near infrared, NIR, is the shortest and hottest wavelength and promotes renewal, cell health, wound healing, and tissue growth. Okay, you like that one?
Okay,
that's what it does.
It's kind of like when you're fasting, you go into a state of autophagy, right? It's the same thing.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
pretty much. Okay. Autophagy, huh? Yeah, where'd you get that?
Autophagy. It's called studying. It's called studying.
Oh, so you're starting to study stuff. That's
yeah. Oh, I do. No, I study lots of things. Yeah, I study lots of things.
Oh God. Anyway,
autophagy. You know what the meaning is? Auto is yourself, and Zaji is eating. So it's like eating yourself. It's the Greek of that. But you're really not eating yourself in autophagy. You're regenerating.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I love it.
So do you? So you get heated up. You do get heated up.
Yeah.
So you feel like you're in a regular sauna?
No, I really don't. No, it is a different, like a regular sauna, but they're both good. Listen, don't get me wrong. If there's a regular sauna near you, go in the regular sauna. If there's an infrared sauna, go in an infrared sauna. If there's both near you, pick which one you like, because it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? So this one, the infrared.
But a regular sauna wouldn't do the same thing that an infrared sauna does, though, right?
Well, it doesn't. It will eventually. In other words, but you'll start to heat up completely. I find that when I go into a regular sauna, and what the studies are, is that it's like a little more clammy initially, whereas an infrared sauna, you heat from the inside out. It takes you about 15 minutes, let's say, for it to start coming out of your system, and you get rid of about 20%. 20% of the water that you sweat is detoxed. Okay, so you detox about 20% of the water that you sweat out.
So it's exactly 20%. It's not 19 or 21.
Oh, it could be 21%. It could be 22%. You wise ass. I'm not a scientist. Listen, I grew up in the Bronx. Okay, I grew up in the Bronx.
So like Tracy said, it's getting rid of all the toxins. Then. So
it is getting rid of all the toxins. Yes, okay. Absolutely. You drink a lot of water. You drink a tremendous amount of. I do anyway. I drink a tremendous amount of water before I go in. Okay. And then you sweat out toxins. Absolutely.
Oh, right.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's something else I was taking that gets rid. I think it was the CMOS that gets rid of the toxins too. Yeah.
Well, I mean, turmeric and curcumin. Turmeric, curcumin with bioperine. You circulate your toxins. Your circulation. The more water you drink, the more you urinate. The more you urinate and get rid of toxins.
See, there's some issues here. Before I was getting a hug. Now I'm a jackass.
Listen, Tom has to break my shoes. God forbid somebody seems like they know what they're talking about on his show. He gets all upset. Okay,
Tracy, where's the animosity coming from, Tracy? A minute ago I was getting a hug, and now I'm a jackass. Jeez.
We can get you. Look, I mean, the bottom line is that 55% of sunlight is infrared. Okay. How about this? Yes. How about this? They have something called red light therapy. Let's talk about something.
Okay, hold on. The question was asked here before light therapy. Somebody asked that. Anthony Carlucci asked, what light therapy is supposed to be good with also? Okay.
White light. I've heard of white light therapy. Here's the thing about white light. And you could, anything I talk about, okay, is probably 50% correct as far as the real science behind it. Well, I'm being honest about it, right? But you could go to watch Dr. Huberman on YouTube. Okay, the Huberman Lab.
Not Gaia TV?
No, not Gaia. This is on YouTube. Okay. Anyway, but Gaia TV is good for you too, Tom. I don't know what to tell you. All right. So I'm gonna pick that. I love it. I miss Bill correcting my English. I could actually I could speak like a native Bronxite now without Bill on the show.
He couldn't spell his last name again. He could
contradiction. But anyway, white light therapy, I believe is for your eyesight. There's a whole science to your eyesight. Now you have gotten rid of the glasses, correct? Okay.
Yes, correct.
So just again, you have fumbled through, you are like just stumbling through life in such a successful path. It's like amazing. So you were able to
thoroughly blissful ignorance is what we call it.
I love it. Yeah. So you were able to get rid of your glasses, and you you either are reading like this or you are, you're not. God bless. So how'd you do that? Let's
autophagy regenerates the cells.
Okay. So white light therapy, I believe, does that. But there is a science behind the fact that, first off, between 10 p.m. and 4 a.m., if you're working, if you're waking during the daytime, not if you're working the graveyard shift, but you should not be around bright white light. Even if you wake up to go to the bathroom, you should try not to turn on the brightest light in your bathroom. Right. Why? Exactly why? Well, number one, it's not good for you, and number two, it has to do with white light therapy. Right. So you shut all the white light off. You try to cover all the blue lights in your bedroom, let's say, off. So the little blue, the cable lights, all that stuff. Try to cover them because those blue lights keep you up. Some part of your brain. This is all science.
I'm going to ask you very serious. It's going to sound like a smart ass. Okay, it's going to sound smart ass, but it's not meant to be. It's a general comment about science.
Mm-hmm.
So we see these studies like that, like at 55% or 20% and all that.
I'm ready for it.
But I'm not criticizing you in any way. I'm just talking about science in general. Do you sometimes, there's science, and then you come out later on, we were wrong on that science.
Right? Okay. All right.
So, I mean, what do you believe in? Like somebody mentions these numbers. So what do we believe and not believe? Or do we do more research on our own to find out, is this science really true? Like find out other reports.
Yeah.
Right.
It's okay. So I get the question. It's a great question. And here's the thing. I listen to a lot of different people. All right. And now I try to get rid of, there's so many people. I try to get rid of the ones that I discount. Why do I discount them? Because they're trying to sell me something.
Right.
So anybody trying to sell me something right away, it's just me. Right. I discount them.
Sure. Yep.
No matter what it might be, social media, sell a product, supplements. Right. Okay. I don't listen. That's why I like this guy Huberman, because he is not trying to sell me anything. And that when he does tell you what supplements he uses, he says, I am now going to talk about a supplement that I use Doesn't mean you have to use it. And he uses athletic greens.
Athletic greens. Heard of that? Yep.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
So that's what he uses. But so to answer your question, you also have to be aware of, I mean, this could be a podcast. You also have to be aware of who is doing the study. So for example, cereal, they say, is one of the go-tos. The government says that cereal is one of the go-to breakfasts to have in the morning, like Frosted Flakes, let's say. You should have that in the morning. Why did they say it? Because the cereal company is the one that commissioned the study.
Oh, okay. Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So, that's why eggs got such a bad rap, Tom. But eggs are the greatest source of protein you could have in the morning.
That's a great example, because we went through years there where they said that eggs were really bad for you. Now the theory is that eggs are really good for you. So that's and again, that's a great example, because so and again, I've probably kind of a rhetorical question. So we really don't know for sure. And you've got a guy that you trust. So for Rich Ghiberti, you trust him, and there's nothing wrong with that. I guess it's that, how do we know which science is the truth? Maybe it's somebody who's really got a good heart. They think they're putting the right stuff out there, but it's just not accurate, right? Okay,
so here's the thing. Let me and I'm going to actually maybe a little bit try to sell you on this. Hooverman, who does he do podcasts with? Rogan. He's the scientist for Rogan, and he's the scientist for your G.I. Joe hero there.
Who?
Come on,
Jocko.
There you go.
Oh, okay.
They do podcasts together. So Jocko and Hooverman do podcasts together. Jocko and Rogan do podcasts together, and Rogan and Hooverman do podcasts together. So Hooverman is the scientist for Jocko and Rogan.
Okay, great example. Now, total respect for both Rogan and for Jocko. Total respect for him. But that doesn't mean that because they believe that guy's right, that I should believe that.
No, but it should at least okay. So it's one of those things where if 9 out of 10 people like a certain car or believe that if you're putting a hockey team together and everybody says that sixth defenseman has got to be this guy,
right?
9 out of 10 coaches say that's the. So you're going to be that. You're going to
do the 1 out of 10. I'm going to be the guy that says, okay, why am I listening to them? Where is their research? What have they done to really they really check? So I'm trying. Brian Lawton was the first overall pick in the draft. Ended up being couldn't play. He barely played in the National Hockey League. Right? Not much of a player. So everybody at that time, and probably I would have been too, thinking, okay, well, everybody says he's the first overall pick in the draft.
He must be. Yeah.
He must be, right? Yeah. The same thing was the kid that Ottawa drafted. I can't remember his name. Same thing. I remember at the time of the draft, everybody said, "Yep, he's the guy." Right? So.
Well, not way back. Danny Heatley. No, not that guy. That was
no, I can't remember what his name was. A French kid too. They dressed.
I think I remember who you mean. Yeah. Okay, all right. So like this coming draft, I think it's this coming draft. That guy Bedard or something like that, right?
Right.
So if he actually comes into the NHL, is there a possibility that he does not become an impact player?
And the answer is yes. There's a possibility.
Amazing, right?
Right. So that doesn't mean that the scouts are all wrong. It's just based on the information they have at the time that he's the top guy.
Right, but there's no sure thing. Bottom line.
Right. So I guess with the science, that's my. Yeah. And again, I don't blame Hooverman. I'm not saying these guys are bad guys and not intelligent guys. It's just that's their opinion on the science, right?
Yeah. So I like the way he explains it. He's not doing it. He doesn't explain anything. And he disagrees with some of the stuff that I believed in. Let's say, you know what I'm saying? Right. That I like. Like he's not a big fan of cryotherapy. I love cryotherapy, but then if I really delve into it more, he's not as much a fan of that because you have to pay to do that, whereas you can get like a bathtub full, those steel canisters and fill it up with ice and jump in it in your backyard, let's say. Right. It's easier to do the other one, and he also thinks that it's a different kind of shock to your system, so that's why he thinks it's slightly better. You know what I mean? But yeah, I don't know. I like I said, he explains it to me, in terms I can understand. He dumbs it down.
See, Tracy's giving it to me today. I think she's taking another shot at me here. Let's get this up here.
Well, she took the VIA test. That's why.
Not everything is for everyone. Try it. You may or may not like it. Decide for yourself. Leader of the dysfunctional bunch.
Thank you. Way
He's
to go,
calling
Tracy.
me the leader of the dysfunctional.
Way to go, Tracy.
I went from getting a hug to now just being ripped apart. Like
That's
to the
good.
very
That's
soul.
hey, look, it's like this. It's like this. Yeah, come closer. Come closer.
To the cold, and then that punch you right in the nose, for God's sake. Jeez.
She's
Jeez.
the best.
What is going on today?
She's practicing her humor. She took the signature strength test. I know it, she
Oh,
has
did she?
the signature-
Okay.
Yeah, she's the only person who
Okay.
listens.
What? Okay. So you see my point. Like, and listen, I
agree with your point.
I
I understand it. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. It's like Jocko, I saw a video of him the other day, and he was saying, I go to the gym 7 days a week. Life will give me the days off. I need a day off, but life will. So it's like unscheduled days. You got to take the kids to school. Okay. And
Yeah.
I don't necessarily agree with that. It's more like, look at your schedule and like plan your 7 days out and said, okay, I'm going to have to take my son or daughter to school. So that's going to be the day off. I just like being more structured like that, where it's not just a random day off. It's a planned day off.
So you step on landmines when you have this show with me. You just step on stuff and blow yourself up. So
Let's go.
today is Wednesday at noon.
Wednesday at noon.
We usually do this Thursday at 10 a.m.
Right. So it's going to be moved to Wednesday. We're going to firm up a time. We'll get that.
But you understand what I'm saying? In other words, but this morning you called.
Oh, I see what you mean. I missed you.
Hey, Rich, let's do the podcast today. So I said, screw it. Yeah, let's do the podcast today. Because I was able to move my stuff around. You were too. Right. And so here we are on the podcast.
Good point. Okay.
And we're having a good time. And we're enjoying ourselves. And now what we do with this tape is we play it, so people can see it, whatever.
Right.
Tomorrow.
So you're saying that
you can make adjustments.
Right.
But I
know, but that was, I think more, I like the discipline of my workout. So like, again, up at 3:30, 3:53 video, that leave for the gym at 4:10. Like, I like that structure. I just think it keeps you more disciplined and everything. So now, so a lot of people that I work with, they really want to lose weight. So they want to be disciplined in their diet, disciplined in the workouts, but in the rest of their life, they're very undisciplined. Mm-hmm. And I'm a believer to say that it's harder. It makes it harder. It's not that it's impossible to now flip that discipline switch on when it comes to your diet. If you got a more disciplined lifestyle, that's just your lifestyle. You're more disciplined. That's what I believe. But
okay, so how about this? Wellness is the new weight loss trend. Yes. People now are becoming more concerned with wellness than they are losing weight. That doesn't mean they don't want to lose weight.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that 100%. Yes.
Yeah,
I agree.
Wellness now. So, mental, physical, and even financial wellness.
Yeah. Love yourself more so you won't put the bad foods in your body. Love yourself more so that you make sure you get to the gym. I agree. 100% on that.
I mean, it's important and it works. It really does.
But nonstop barrage. We call this a barrage.
Flexible. It is. I love it.
Has to learn. Wow. It's like we went from
spot on. Huh? She's just laser. No, that's called. She's giving you laser focused therapy there. Wow.
Right. That's infrared.
Not holding back any punches.
She's going on the inside.
Listen, so you mean to tell me that you would not go to Stanford and jump into the cryo? Have you ever jumped into the cryotherapy tube yet?
I didn't say I wouldn't do anything. No, but again, as you know, with Tom. At some point, I will say to myself, Rich was telling me about the infrared
20 years ago before he died, before he froze to death.
I was like that. With intermittent fasting. People were always telling me about intermittent fasting. I said, yeah. When I get around to researching myself, I'll make my decision whether I want to do intermittent fasting. And that's what I did. So,
So infrared sauna. I don't know how you would do sitting. Have you ever done? You must have taken a sauna at some point?
Sitting around doing nothing is not a big thing of mine. Yeah,
right.
Like fishing to me. Fishing to me is like don't mean disrespectful to fishermen, but I sit there for like 5 minutes and I don't catch a fish. Like, let's get moving here.
Yeah, exactly. No, I can see the fishing is one thing, and I love people that fish, and I actually like the camaraderie of fishing. But if I don't catch one, I really don't care.
Right. Tracy is about she's now gone up a step and above. Like, she's shown the leaders that she has to. So she's mended the fences here. I should have done this, but she just stopped the madness. I adore you. Man, that's better. So I see now she's gotten way up and above now because, again, she took the lead there, realized that something needed to change in the relationship, and it's changed.
That's amazing.
This is a good point here by Doug. Danny. Food has to be related to drugs in some way. Yes. So food, like we believe, I think I'll speak for Rich in this one, that
Yep.
we should try to get away from the drugs, and now food becomes our drugs. Yes, having healthy foods. So, but again, we don't want to go against what doctors are saying. If doctors are telling you that, I don't want to persuade people to get off drugs, but I'm a huge believer of just try to eat healthy and stay healthy, and you never have to get on drugs.
Yeah, I try not to either. I prefer not taking drugs, prescription drugs, certainly illegal or whatever you want to call them drugs, not non-mainstream. I don't believe in that. I like the fact that when I wake up in the morning, that's the best I'm going to feel all day, and it's just going to get better than that. So I try not to medicate myself.
Totally. Yeah,
simple as I'll take my supplements, and I'll eat healthy. And the other thing is the red light therapy. The red light therapy is the new thing now, because people are going into these booths.
So there's red light, there's white light therapy.
Well, there's all kinds of colors. There's like there's chroma colors. I'll send you the color chart just so you could learn.
Is there black light? Because I like black's like.
Well, at night. At night, you should have black light. I mean, at night, you should black out your room, and you should get your AC down to about like 69 to 71 degrees or some crap like that, and that's it.
Okay.
And there's electromagnetic grounding pads that you could put underneath your bed and for your feet.
And we've talked about this before. Like, there's all these different things you can do. You can't possibly do all the things that people. You got to pick the ones, as Tracy Marie mentioned. I give her credit. You got to do the things that work for you.
Yeah, that's so important. Yes. Well, it's just the more you know about that, the more things are in your toolbox. That's the bottom line.
That's the big thing. Like, how does understanding how the body works? The intermittent fasting. What's happening to your body? What's happening when we put bad foods in your body? Alcohol, drugs, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Well,
you're exactly right. That was the big thing for me, especially during the pandemic, was just learning more about it. Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, left to our own devices, though, you could go crazy. Anybody could. Yeah. I mean, in this pandemic, the pandemic was tough.
And I guess that kind of goes back to my question about the science. Like, do your own homework. Listen to people like Hooverman, what he has to say, and then go ahead and do your own homework and think, okay, yes, but just don't assume that because he says it. No disrespect to him, but just don't assume because he says it that's good. Like you even said yourself, he goes against a lot of things that you really believed in.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. And so I listened to what he says, but guess what? I went into the cryotherapy chamber today. I don't have a ice bucket here. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a. My neighbors would think I'm really out of my mind.
Totally. So, just so you know, so everybody knows too, we were planning on doing these the dance challenge, and we're hoping that we have all the money, all the awareness steered to the Garden of Dreams at Madison Square Gardens. A young girl that works at Garden, she's in charge of that, Taylor. And we've had a discussion back and forth what we want. So she'll hopefully get back to her today, or she'll get back to me today, and we'll find out if we can do this to move forward with the dance. I expect a dance video from you.
I got to tell you something. I made one. You want to hear what I did, or should? Yeah, it's not. I am surfboarding in front of a 30-foot tall pile of garbage on the beach down here in Fort Myers.
Okay. Here's
and I'll make it even better.
Jason, because we're so close, I'll be careful how I say this. So CMOS doesn't work for me. So there you go. Well, but I think CMOS is one of those things that you really don't see the effects of. I'm not trying.
You don't see moss? Is that it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think you really see the effects. It's like over the long-term thing. It's like internally. I do think it's very good for your skin. Some people actually wash their face with CMOS, but I don't do that. But that's another example. If it doesn't work for you, Tracy, you just don't use it then. Yeah.
We have 129 things that do. So we'll just keep knocking them down. So Tom, this just in from one of my scientist friends. Infrared light is invisible. It's invisible light on the electromagnetic spectrum, just beyond what we see as red. It's what we feel as we heat. It's what we feel as heat from the sun. Okay. When you're in the sun and you feel heat, that's what okay. And the infrared has the ability to penetrate human tissue, which in turn produces a host of anti-aging health benefits. Thank you, doctor.
Wow.
How do you like that one, huh? I've got right. Yeah. Not that.
As soon as the show's done, I'm getting red light therapy. That's it.
Well, it's an interesting thing. Well, the red light therapy.
What if I just get like a flash? What if I get a flashlight, put a piece of red paper in front of it, like that?
and point it at your testes, and that's gonna raise, and that's gonna imagine doing that, and that's gonna raise your testosterone about 150 points.
Okay, I'm in.
Well,
I'm in.
red light therapy, if you sit in there for 30 minutes, is going to raise your testosterone for about 150 to 200 points.
That's the science.
That is the science. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
I'm going to send that to you. How's that?
Okay.
And then you could distribute it. Oh my God. Wait, hold on.
So here's Pete. So here's another novel here. Is there anyone, if there's anyone out there who's in Copland or the hockey world or in a hole you can't dig yourself, you can always feel free to reach out to me. Pete, anything you listen, feel free to reach out. Didn't get but the mental illness, and you'll be able to hold a special place in my heart. These guys, Rich and Tommy, hold close to my heart. Please know that you are never alone. Good point.
Thank you, Pete.
Yes, thanks, Pete, a lot. But again, just to be sure that Pete is not a doctor and like that, it's fantastic that he's offering the help. But if you feel like you need, so I want to make sure I say that very carefully. That's a fantastic offer by Pete. But just to be, as we have learned, if somebody's really in trouble, you do need to get professional help. And so we're kind of getting to the end of our show. So that kind of gets us through that 988 hotline again. Again, that's for all mental health issues.
Yeah, 988 is definitely for mental health issues. And what Pete is talking about, and I've talked to him many times about these issues, is that sometimes people are just lonely and they want to talk about something that they're going through in life. And then, you know what? We're here to listen and we're here to advise. I can tell you what I do in that situation. And we will then get to a point, perhaps, if it happens, it happens, where I'm going to say, you need to talk to a professional about this. You know what I'm saying? So, and there's nothing wrong with that. And so, you know, but if it's suicidal ideology, suicidal thoughts, pick up the phone, call 988. You want to call us first and we'll call together, whatever that has to happen. Yeah. Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah. Everybody's got to realize, Tom, that they're not alone. Okay. Here's the problem. They're not alone. And what they're feeling is not unique.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, I agree. See, the big thing for me that you said there is that not alone thing, right? That people care about you. Even if there's people that you don't necessarily know people, you know, there's a lot of great people out there that just care about people in general. They don't have to know you necessarily. So,
no. And Pete's one of them. And Pete's one of them. I know you are, so am I. That, you know, and I'm a 28-year-old police officer yesterday, I believe, in New York City, as we talked about in the show, if anybody missed it, decided that his best idea that moment was to step off a building and plummet to his death. And that is just something that just kills me. I mean, I feel terrible.
It doesn't have to happen, right? Because there's lots of people out there that would care. Like you said, I wouldn't know him, you didn't know him, but it doesn't mean you wouldn't care about him. So
no, and it hurts.
Yeah, it definitely does. All right, guys. So again, don't listen to scientists. Don't believe anything they say.
Don't believe doctors. Don't believe scientists. Believe Tom Laidlaw.
Exactly.
Believe Tracy. Just believe Tracy. She seems the most sanest of anybody.
I know. So although she was a little bit hard, like was that a little tough love there in the middle of the show?
Well, you needed that. I think you need that once in a while.
Right.
You need that. You need that from somebody, a woman. You need to hear that from a woman, buddy.
Plus, she does. Tracy, just don't abandon me. That's all, right? Just don't abandon me.
Hey, positivity for the day. Success will not come tomorrow. It starts today, Tom. It starts today.
I like that. Yeah, don't wait around till tomorrow. Great job. Right. Great job, everybody. We will see you next week. We're going to do the show on Wednesday. We'll put it out there probably around 10 o'clock on Wednesday. Not around 10 o'clock. It's going to be at 10 o'clock. But we'll get that out there to make sure.
Promptly at whatever time Tom decides. I'm a hostage.
All right. Just don't abandon me.
All right. Goodbye.
See you guys next week.
Oh.